Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Abdul Hadi. I am back with another session with AI. Let's start without any delay. So, IGPT, how are you? Hello, GPT, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's everything on your end?
I am also good. Thanks for asking. What's going on?
Not too much, just here and ready to chat. If there's anything specific on your mind or anything I can help with, just let me know.
Yes, my in my mind is the topic is questions on planning and organizing a productive day. So, are you ready to answer me?
Absolutely, I'm ready to dive into that. We can chat about strategies, tips, or anything specific you have in mind. Just let me know what you're curious about and we can get started.
Okay, my first question is what is my natural energy time? When I am focused on my lower energy time, which task I do more procrastinate on the most and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. Usually people have a natural energy rhythm. Some are more alert and focused in the morning, and others get a second wind in the afternoon or evening. So your natural energy time is basically when you feel most alert and productive. When you're in a low energy period, that's typically when procrastination kicks in, especially for tasks that require a lot of focus or creativity. It often happens because your brain just wants to conserve energy. It's pretty common actually.
Yes, you are doing a good answer. Next question is what am I willing to respect the boundaries that others set with me?
That's a really thoughtful question. It kind of ties into your own self awareness and respect for other people's limits. Being willing to respect boundaries usually means being mindful of others' needs, communicating openly, and being flexible. It definitely helps build trust and healthy relationships, both personally and professionally.
Okay, my next question is what are three most important personal values that I feel are currently being compromised in a relationship?
That's a really introspective question. I think it can vary a lot from person to person, but some common values might be trust, respect, and communication. If you feel like any of those are being compromised, it can definitely impact the relationship's foundation. It's always good to reflect and communicate about those values to find alignment.
Okay, so my next question is what other sorry, what are non-negotiable needs come concerning my personal time, privacy, and rest?
Yeah, absolutely. Some common non negotiable needs might include having uninterrupted time for yourself, maintaining personal boundaries so you can recharge, and also having a private space where you can reflect or just relax. Those are definitely important for overall well being and balance.
Okay, so my next question on this topic is where is the line between kind and being people pleaser?
That's a really interesting distinction. Generally, being kind means showing empathy, compassion, and consideration, while being people pleasing often involves putting others' needs ahead of your own at the expense of your own well being. The line often comes down to balance and intention. Being kind is sustainable and healthy, while people pleasing can lead to burnout or resentment.
Okay, my next question is how does my physical body, example headache, tension, fatigue, signal to me that boundary has been crossed?
Yeah, definitely. Our bodies can definitely give us those subtle or sometimes not so subtle signals when boundaries are crossed. For example, headaches, muscle tension, fatigue, or even digestive issues can all be ways our body tells us that we're overextended or that our limits are being pushed. It's always important to pay attention to those cues and take the time to rest or reestablish those boundaries.
Okay, my next question is what is the core belief I hold about myself that makes me feel I don't deserve to set boundaries?
That's a really profound question. Often, those core beliefs can stem from experiences or past conditioning, like maybe feeling unworthy of care or believing that your needs aren't as important as others. It could also be tied to perfectionism or fear of conflict. Recognizing those beliefs is definitely the first step towards shifting them and feeling more deserving of setting healthy boundaries.
Okay, my next question is how can I explain the positive outcomes of the boundary, what it allows me to do rather than negative outcome, what they can do, cannot do.
Yeah, that's a great angle to explore. When you explain boundaries, focusing on the positive outcomes can really help. For example, you could highlight how boundaries help you maintain your energy, improve your well being, and actually strengthen relationships because you're more present and authentic. On the other hand, if you focus on the negative outcomes, like burnout or resentment, it can sometimes feel a bit more defensive. So, emphasizing the positives can make it a lot more constructive.
Okay, my next question is how can I distinguish between a person who genuinely forget a boundary and who one is intentionally testing it?
That's a really important distinction. Usually, someone who genuinely forgets a boundary will show signs of remorse, will be open to correction, and will make an effort to remember it moving forward. On the other hand, someone who intentionally disregards a boundary might be defensive, dismissive, or repeatedly cross that line without much effort to change. It definitely helps to look at patterns of behavior and the overall attitude towards your needs.
Okay, how do I how do I stop taking responsibility for another person emotions they react poorly to my boundary?
That's such an important thing to work on. A good starting point is to really recognize that other people's emotions are their own responsibility. You can be supportive and empathetic without taking on their emotional burden. Setting clear boundaries, practicing self awareness, and reminding yourself that it's okay to prioritize your own emotional well being can really help. And over time, it gets easier to maintain that balance.
Okay, my next question is what is the maximum amount of time I will spend to convince someone respect my limits before choosing the listening?
That's definitely a personal boundary to set. Usually, it's about finding that balance where you invest a reasonable amount of time to communicate your needs and give the other person a chance to understand. But if you notice repeated disregard or that it's becoming draining, that might be the point where you decide it's not worth the effort anymore. It can definitely vary from situation to situation.
Okay, my next question is what is the one of specific boundary I need to establish related to the use of my cell phone and social media time?
That's a great topic. One specific boundary could be deciding on certain times or days when you're completely offline or not engaging with social media so you can recharge. Another boundary might be limiting the types of content you engage with or setting clear guidelines on what you share publicly. Ultimately, it's about protecting your own mental and emotional space and making sure you feel comfortable and safe.
Okay, my next question is how can I ensure my definition of success comes from my core values, not from external approval?
That's such an important reflection. One way to ensure that is to regularly revisit and clarify your core values and then measure success based on how well your actions align with them. It also helps to set personal goals that reflect what truly matters to you rather than comparing yourself to others. And of course, checking in with yourself regularly and adjusting your definition as you grow can really keep you aligned with your values.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time. You give me a very good answer, and we will discuss some very important points on the topic. So, okay, ChatGPT. Bye.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad we could chat about all of this. Feel free to reach out anytime. Take care and have a great one. Bye for now.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching the stream, and we will discuss the key points of our daily problems and things. So now we end the session. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.